let's do the Gerasene demoniac. Okay, I'm going to read the left-hand column, esoteric, okay? And you're going to read the one for Mark 5, 1 to 10.
Okay.
You see where we are?
Yes.
Okay. Odysseus and his crew sailed to the land of the Cyclopes and then later the land of Circe.
Jesus and his disciples sailed to the region of the Gerasenes.
On the mountains of the Cyclopes, countless goats grazed, and Circe turned Odysseus's comrades into swine.
On the mountains, a large herd of swine grazed, about 2,000 of them.
Odysseus and crew of 12 men, by the way, went ashore.
Jesus and his disciples went ashore.
They discovered a savage, lawless giant who lived in a cave.
They discovered a savage, lawless, demon-possessed man who lived among the caves.
Polyphemus usually was depicted nude in ancient art.
The savage was nude.
Circe recognized Odysseus and asked him not to harm her, and that's for Circe, and the giant Polyphemus asked Odysseus if he had come to harm him.
The savage recognized Jesus and asked him not to harm him.
The giant asked Odysseus his name.
Jesus asked the monster his name.
Odysseus answered, nobody, Utus.
The savage answered, Legion.
Odysseus subdued the giant with violence and trickery, and Circe had turned Odysseus's soldiers into swine.
Jesus subdued the demons with a word and sent them into the swine and then into the lake.
The shepherd called out to his neighbors.
The swineherds reported to their neighbors.
The Cyclopes came to the site asking about Polyphemus's sheep and goats.
The neighbors came to the site to find out about their swine.
Odysseus and crew boarded ship.
Jesus and his disciples boarded ship.
Odysseus told the giant to broadcast that he had blinded him.
Jesus told the healed monster to broadcast what God had done for him.
The giant asked Odysseus, now on ship, to come back.
The savage asked Jesus, now on ship, if he could be with him.
Odysseus refused the request.
Jesus refused the request.
Odysseus and his crew sailed away.
Jesus and his disciples sailed away.
Odysseus awoke during a storm in the episode immediately following Polyphemus.
Jesus awoke during a storm and calmed the wind and sea immediately before the savage.
Now let me continue reading, if I might. Byzantine poets clearly recognized such similarities between these tales, for when they retold the story of the demoniac, they used Odyssey 9 to do so. So here's what we find. Now, these are Christian Byzantine authors, and in this case, maybe the 6th century, who retell the story of the Gerasene demoniac. But when Jesus and the disciples arrived at the area located among the Gerasenes, here there was a headland where a cave lay next to the sea, with cascading laurel as though encircling it. In it, swine and goats rested at night around in a high tomb. These are lines directly from the Odyssey. And that was built with large stones set deep in the earth, with tall pines and high foliaged oaks. There slept a monstrous man whom a demon shepherded by itself by far away. He did not engage with others, but lived apart and knew only cruel thoughts. For he had been made into a monstrosity and was not like a man who eats bread, but like a wooded peak of high mountains that looms larger than the rest. Those lines are sequential from the Odyssey. These people saw similarities between the biblical story and Homeric epics. Mark wanted his readers to note that Jesus was better and more powerful hero than Homer's. Whereas Odysseus blinded a monster, Jesus made a monster sane. Similarly, Circe turned soldiers into swine for eating, but Jesus cast the legion of demons into swine to return the madman to sanity. Here again, Jesus is a hero of compassion. So it is hard to explain those parallels, esoteric, unless you say there's some kind of clever, artistic remythologizing going on. Now, in my judgment, Jesus was regarded as an exorcist. So this isn't asking a question about whether Jesus existed or whether he was an exorcist, but this elaboration on an exorcism surely evokes the Homeric epics, and we saw that these Byzantine poets recognized it and used these lines to introduce the healing of the Gerasene. And so this is just one example of scores of them in the New Testament. This is not a one-off.